are to start building as soon as possible because Oasis Land Development give you the opportunity. First of all, the opportunity to pay without interest in a few years, which is very good. Make your payments on time. And the second is we actually can start building before you're done completely.
And I know your experience has been great because I know you've recommended a lot of clients to us, and which I thank you very much. And obviously, that's gave you confidence when you visited the Cayman Islands and you've completed the process. So, welcome back to our Cayman Blueprint. Here today, as you can see, I'm actually on my own. Everyone's on holiday as it's Good Friday. So, happy Easter to all our listeners and viewers. But more importantly, today, the reason why I'm on my own is because we've got my client from the US, Joelle, who's actually agreed to come on and give her experience in purchasing property in the Cayman Islands. Perfect. So, Joelle, what I'd like to do is, like I said, this is our Cayman Blueprint. So, what we're doing, we're just going to introduce yourself and a little bit about, your visit to the Cayman Islands and, how you felt about the Cayman Islands and more importantly, about the opportunity of purchasing the location you did in the Cayman Islands. So, what I'd like to do first of all, Joelle, is just give a little bit of background of who you are and what you do for a living.
Well, my name is Joelle Vital. I am actually located in New York. I'm a physician internist in the town of Merrick, practicing for about more than 20 years, about 20 to 30 years. And I was really thinking about leaving New York and retiring in a place that is safe, that is nice, and with certain opportunities. And I can see there are a few islands, including Grand Cayman. And somebody introduced me to Anwar, and I decided to take the opportunity and go visit Grand Cayman. I was introduced to join. I have a very nice tour. I fell in love with the place. It's very safe. It's very clean. It's very nice. Exactly what I need. And I looked at the different opportunities. I visited the lands. It's a very nice development. It's not done, but it's close enough to the beach. The temperature was very good at the time when I went. It wasn't too cold. I don't know what happens in the summer. So it was a pleasant visit, especially with John. I visited all parts of the island, rural or
Great.
and everything. So basically, I decided to basically establish myself there after retirement from the months.
Fantastic. Do you know what? And in the position you're in when you first looked at the Cayman Islands, even before when you made your reservation, as you know, you had the due diligence period, and I know you checked everything, didn't you?
I go pivot there.
Brilliant. I know you checked the agreements, the contract, you checked about our company. I mean, in the position you're in, you're used to, dealing with other companies as well. And
Not enough information to a company. A company is long lasting. I was told that there are a lot of companies that do make a stay on the island, but they don't last. That if you start in jail, you might, I know people will find
yes,
yourself alone dealing with everything because the company no longer exists. If you guys have been there for a while, you guys are not reliable, or that's what happened process.
fantastic. That's great. And how did you find the journey from when you first looked at it? I mean, me personally, with me, how did you find the journey? Was I helpful in, in assisting you with all the information you
It
required?
was very easy. The information was provided as needed. Even got some videos from you, some maps, everything, so I can basically pick up, make choices from where I was. But it's still, although I got all that information, it's still very important to see first physically, because this is where you are going to be.
Yes.
You're going to live there, so you want to make sure that you physically see the place, and there's a different feel when you're actually there. Although I got all the information I need about the plans, um, the parcels, the any type of maps I got from Anwar, aerial maps, anything to help me locate um the land and the islands, but it was still necessary for me to see physically and make a decision from there.
Perfect. And do you know what, Joel? One of the reasons we do this podcast is some clients, are unable to visit. So it's good to know from a client that's made that purchase that can give them the experience that you've been there. You've met our director. You've been around the island. You've visited the community, the gated community, and you picked a lakeside. And obviously, what made you pick a lakeside? You obviously like being near water.
The next side is quiet. I mean, everybody likes the beach, but when you have a construction on the beach, there's constant repair with erosions and things like this that happen because of the sand, because of the waves. So I think on the lakeside it was nice. It was calm. I like the fact that it had also access to the major roads where it was located, and it's a gated community. So although it's a safe island, but it's still big with a lot of security added to that, and it's calm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you've explained is, you enjoyed the process. It was very simple. And that's what we always try to provide with Oasis. But one of the points I would like to ask is when you made the purchase, but going there, feeling it, seeing it, did that was there any, surprises that you felt, you know what, this is exceptional? Was there any surprises that you thought, enjoyable surprises?
Yeah, there were some enjoyable surprises because with John, with your director, we went on different sites, and I was able to see a lot of the life of the Canadian themselves. Where the different parts of the land. Even prior, a little bit of the how do you call that? Daily meals, what we've been function, the back lifestyle. I was able to visualize. He actually took me everywhere, able to visualize. This is exactly what I was looking for. As far as enjoyable surprises, it's the roads are very accessible. They're very good. Even what they call very high traffic. Coming from New York, it was not disappointing. You can still get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. Um, and the traffic is really controlled. That surprises there. That was very important because as we probably gonna get older, traffic is very important with those certain things that we don't want to have. Um, and then and the man, there was also, I thought it was mostly like Turks and Caicos, like a stand bar and no production, but over there in Grand Cayman, there was actually people grow different type of stuff. You can find organic food, but over there, and that was a good surprise. You can go to the market when you can find a lot of stuff coming from other countries, but people also have the choice of finding farms and farmer and get organic food over there, which is a plus for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. Do you know what? And like I said, when I know from speaking with you afterwards, we've become friends, and and one of the great points you always tell me is when you was in the Cayman Islands, you made quite a lot of friends as well, didn't you? The visiting around and talking to people.
I'm interested in wellness, so I visited a few wellness because they were very welcoming. Um, the only thing I'm not interested in doing is working as a doctor anymore, but wellness, they were very welcoming. I visited the place. I had some treatments. I actually found even the exercises that I do, the Pilates and the little mall. The nice surprises
Oh,
that mall is
beautiful.
also on a lake. It was beautiful, and that gave me an idea of what my development is gonna be when it's done. When I went to that mill, and that was actually beautiful, very 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 nice. That's peaceful.
Perfect.
It's very good.
Yeah, you know what, you say it all, and I know we spoke many times since you've been back, and I know you've recommended a lot of friends as well. When you went, you've seen it, you've told people. I've got a lot of your friends coming over now wanting information, about the location. So you're doing very well for me personally there.
I would like to
But
good.
what I would like, thank you so much. And what I would like to ask as well is what's your plan? Just so people understand, it's not just buying the location. What's your plan? Are you planning on building, living, renting the property, retiring? What's your plan?
My plans are to start building as soon as possible because Oasis Land Development give you the opportunity. First of all, the opportunity to pay without interest in a few years, which is very good. Make your payments on time. And the second is we actually can start building before you done completely. And that's a plus because if I'm interested in moving
Yes.
soon, I would love to build as soon as possible. And then the land is already like John showed me. They have the electricity running, they have the water running, they have everything already set on the plot. So the plot is ready to go. They're just finishing a few little things, the soft notes, and be ready to go. So I guess if you want to build as soon as next year, I think it's probably gonna be the possibility.
So, after hearing from my client Joelle and the amazing experience my client had in purchasing the real estate in the Cayman Islands, but not only that, the visit she had in the Cayman Islands and the great opportunity she's taken. So, please, if you want more information, don't forget to visit us on www.oasis-land.com. But also, feel free to contact me at anwar.own@oasis-land.com. I'm more than happy to assist anyone with further information about the opportunities we have. When you went to the Cayman Islands, how did you find? Because I know you met our director, Mr. McLean. How did you find Mr. Johnny McLean?
What's amazing about the director, he has a lineage of people from the land. He knows the land. He's been in politics. He knows everybody in there. It was very easy to have access to many things with him and actually see the real life over there. He was able to give you a lot of history from the place. And that also is very important. So you know a lot of the history, a lot of the habits, a lot of the culture, which is very important. And he was able to provide all that in one afternoon, I think, or one morning. I don't remember, but it felt like the whole day because it was so informative.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? He enjoyed your company. I know that he told me personally. So he enjoyed your company too. And one of the questions I would like to ask is, so where are you located? You're in the US. Whereabouts in the US? What location?
I am in New York and on the Long Island and one of the towns on the southern part of Monet called Merrick.
Go ahead.
That's where I have my practice, but I actually live also on the southern part of the island in another town called Woodley. So I've been in Long Island for more than 20 years, and it's not as hectic as New York City, so because I was raising my children, never really attracted to the crowd and fast-paced lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about the economy of this like in Cayman as such a researcher's lifestyle. The difference is just very safe. Right now in New York, you're not safe at all. So that's a big difference.
Definitely. And you know what? I remember when, the experience you've had with me, and, I know we've communicated a lot, even with the flights, we assist every step of the way. Because I remember you flew direct, which is great news. You fly direct from New
Yeah,
York straight to Cayman Islands.
I love Cayman Islands. Like small the service of a door is phenomenal. I feel really nice, and we have the opportunity to fly first class for a little change of like $200 more. It's very good, and it's paying to right in the work to do what we have to do. If I have to go back and forth, it would be very easy. Nothing very attractive about the island. The fact that everything is so organic and clean. I am a wellness provider, which actually encourage people to live a wellness lifestyle and try to use a lot of the plants and the vegetables as medicine And we're gonna have being in an island like this, we would have the opportunity to continue to grow the wellness. Um, some of my clients, if they want to visit or and see what it's about, they'll be able to learn a lot of the good stuff about it. And the clientele also in Grand Cayman, they're very much attracted to that. I visited a lot of places where they do naturopathic treatments, which is very appealing. They even have physicians that move from the United States. I met an orthopedic surgeon who actually moved to, with his wife, a gynecologist. They moved to Grand Cayman, and that's when they're practicing their naturopathic. I mean, they're doing a lot of naturopathic treatment, including stem cell treatments. And the stem cells found in the Cayman Islands are well good from what I understand. I've been tried them, but I was introduced to a pen who made in the brain Cayman with the vitamin and the anhydrous plus. And the delivery, the pen is made by a young man in Grand Cayman, and the results are phenomenal. I have one of those pens, and I can tell you it's actually better me. It made a difference in my life. So he is very promising being over there and making all the efforts that people are doing in Grand Cayman or good not well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the great opportunities is the Cayman Islands is very well advanced in medical, very well advanced, as you've said, which is a lot of new treatments as well. So it gives you, like you said, when you retire, it gives you that security. You've got great lifestyle, great healthcare if it's at your doorstep, so to speak. And yeah, definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you. And I'm glad you experienced that when you visited. And I know, I just want to ask, since you've actually completed the process, you've got your agreements and you own your location there, or you're contracted to the location, should I say? How do you feel the experience has been overall with Oasis Land Developments?
The experience has been easy. Communication has been very upfront and easy. Didn't have to struggle having people understand what we mean, what we It was pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and to the point. And I feel that I didn't really have any hiccups when it came to the process. I was told every step of the process before going through, so I didn't have any bad unforeseen surprises. I think the worst thing that happened was the rain, and I think but that's not something that will change. But everything else was already discussed. Anything that I had to encounter was already discussed, described as it happened. So yeah, no bad surprises.
Great. And I know I don't even have to ask this question. Well, for my viewers, I will. And I know your experience has been great because I know you've recommended a lot of clients to us, and which I thank you very much. And obviously, that's gave you confidence when you visited the Cayman Islands and you've completed the process.
This was very well explained. So there was no bad surprises. It happened the way it was supposed to happen. The only unfortunate thing that I had, that we had a snowstorm there. So we had to have a cancellation of planes like the week that we were supposed to go because there were no planes leaving out of New York, and that kind of delayed everything. But although with the delay, I was picked up as promised from the airport. With the delay and the change in plans, John was there. The visit was done as promised. We actually extended the visit. He wasn't supposed to take us all over the island, but we did. Um, we experienced a culture, so it was a lot more. Only there was that unfortunate event that we had to deal with the postponing and a change of plan. We were delayed that for another week or 10 days. Like but it still happened as planned.
Thank you so much. I will make sure also I'll speak to our director and let him know how pleased you've been as well. And I'm sure he'll be very thankful. And one of the questions I would like to ask you, if obviously speak to people, if someone's a bit on the fence about making, their first move, even to reserve a location that they like, what would you say to them?
See that it's a moon that no, I mean it's a what they call it when they call it in the United States is a no brainer. meaning the place is growing. I see financial institution growing, buildings being built all over the island. So the place is actually growing very fast. So since you make an investment here, let's say you change your mind, something happened, didn't want to be there, most likely you'll be able to sell maybe at a higher price than you paid when we were purchasing, which is always a plus. Second, you don't even pay taxes on the property after you pay, which was very good. And in this case, we don't even pay the interest on the loan. So all that makes it very appealing, and there is no way you could actually lose.
Do you know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. I really couldn't. Do you know what, Joelle? Thank you so much for this today. It's really appreciated. And I'm looking forward to many, 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 many years as my client, assisting you every step of the way. And I know me and you communicate, but what I'd just like to ask, how's your experience been with me?
Easy is quite. I mean, I'm able to express everything without finding any controversy. It seems like you try to make people halfway and understand where they're coming from. And that's very important because some people have a narrow mind and they won't understand the little differences that every purchaser will have, if investor or whoever's purchasing will have. I mean, in your case, you make the communication very easy. And anytime you're always willing, any questions we have, you're always willing to answer and provide all the information required. And it's actually pretty fast.
Joelle, thank you so much for today. It's been really appreciated, and I think you've answered everything. I think anyone watching this will be put at ease, knowing the experience you've had and visiting the Cayman Islands. So it's really, really appreciated. And thank you very much. I really do mean that for today. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Fine. As you can tell, as physicians have patients in this rooms, but it was a um, very enlightening and also pleasant experience dealing with the counter. Definitely. And the purchasing and good then I think it's a very positive this is company.
Thank you so much. And thank you for today. I think that's it. Joelle, thank you so much. You've done me very proud and I appreciate it.
Um,
Thank you. Bye bye. So now we've come to an end of my podcast here today. So don't forget, if you want more information and especially having the experience that my client Joelle had in the Cayman Islands with how simple and easy it was to purchase property in the Cayman Islands, then please feel free to contact us on oasis-land.com and experience the opportunity yourself.